Welcome back to another edition of the ABR Weekend Preview. And Aaron's back. Nice to see you, mate.
Yeah, back in studio, mate. The studio moves every week, but we're here and looking forward to the weekend's racing.
Mate, we've been absolutely flat out. Last week, obviously, you were away, you were absent, but we did dial in from Rose Hill. We had Shady Thinker go around there. And a big week on a few fronts. I think the boys have been over in New Zealand getting a bit of work done, or potentially just on holidays. But we look forward to this weekend with a couple of runners locally at Morphettville on the Thoroughbred side and plenty of action on the harness side as well. Do you want to touch on maybe the week that was?
Yeah, look, I thought the boys were on holidays until lot 366. They weren't doing a lot of action, but they picked up a lovely Savabeel colt, which you would have seen out on the emails, and they did well. They shot really well, to be fair. It was certainly our pick of day two. Thought we wouldn't be able to afford it. Just a lovely quality colt, and we were really excited to be bringing him home. So they earned their money. They worked hard sort of for 3 days and doing a lot of inspections, and we worked alongside Dave Mee from Pinhook Bloodstock as well. He did a great job for Will and Ned over there, but great to be there and great to be active, and hopefully we can see him successful when we bring him home. Obviously,
that was at the New Zealand Ready to Run sales, and I think there is a couple of shares left available if people do want to get involved. So, if people want to reach out across the weekend, hopefully we can tip them into a few winners across the weekend, and they can use a bit of that to get involved with the colt.
Yeah, well, they better not follow your tips. We'll see how we go throughout the... we need Christy back on for the tips. She multied one the other week.
Did she?
Well, on here, when she did dual pressure into, I think... One of the paces was very healthy.
There you go.
1 milli, I think it was, the night she did dual pressure on 1 milli.
Oh, she's not bad.
She was very good there. That was a nice little collect for people. But, been a good week. I'll be back on the road Monday, heading over to Sydney. Shady Thinker, I'll spend the week there with him, leading into Kembla Grange on next Saturday. He was outstanding last week, as we spoke about. So we got better length, did a lot wrong, but he galloped beautifully in Sydney this morning, and he'll be having his final piece of work Tuesday into Saturday.
Yeah, really looking forward to that. And as you said, you'll be over there, so very exciting to have a runner at Kembla next Saturday in Shady. But we do look to this Saturday, Morphettville Parks meeting. Now, we've actually got one of the other stable stars and one of my personal favourites going around, so a lot to look forward to. Dual Pressure, I speak of in race 4 in a small field, stubby holder going aboard from a wide gate. He, outside of his Gawler Cup run, I don't reckon he's ever drawn a gate for us, this horse. And in the small field, not too much to worry about, but looks well placed. I think he's equal favourite at the moment, Aaron.
Yeah, equal favourite with Hard Prince. A really open sort of race. Drawn the widest, 8 of 8. But, look, he'll naturally get forward, I think. He was a little bit further back than we would have thought in the Gawler Cup. Hoping we don't get too much more rain overnight and we get to see a good forward track tomorrow. That will suit him. He's better on top of the ground than... Sort of Gawler Cup Day played a heavy 9. So plan will be to get forward. That'll be plan A. Nasho, obviously the leader from barrier 4. Outside of that, you'd like to think we could sort of land handy just outside Nasho, and where he's run his best races on speed, and particularly the Parks track be there to kick late. But look, he'll run a really good race. He's going to be on the 7-day backup next week into the Happy Trails final, which he's performed off well before. So looking forward to tomorrow. Equally looking forward to next Saturday with him.
Yeah, really excited to see him tomorrow. I think he looks well placed, and the market is respecting him, which is good to see. I think he'd be a really, really good chance if he can get over Nasho late. And then we move on to, as has been outlined in the past episodes, I think that Tano Rocket is one of my favourite horses in the stable. He bowls around in race 7 now. Has he been well backed? Yeah, he has. He's 12 into $7.50, Aaron. So you must have used some of your Sydney spending money and had a punt, I reckon.
That's your money, mate. That's what worries me. But look, this horse is running really well. First up was great. He was probably a length below par. Second up, if he returns to his first up form, Taylor Johnson aboard. He does come in with 53 kilos, so he's going to appreciate the significant weight drop. Got a lovely gate, barrier 6. He's going to be handy. He deserves to win one in town, this horse. He's only a rating 56, but going around in a benchmark 66 race. So if he can win this, there's plenty of upside for him. He's just got, he's just got to get equal amount of luck. And he can certainly be there in the finish.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him. And there's a well-named favourite in the race, actually. But Capital X looks really well placed for Stokesy, and Paula Trenwith's Ginger Sinner is the early favourite. But Tano, hopefully he can run a really good race for a terrific group of owners at Grand Syndicate. So That does us for Morphettville Parks on Saturday, thoroughbred wise. Do we want to stick thoroughbreds and go to Sunday just while we're focused on
Yeah, we can
that?
briefly touch on them and then we'll do the full harness preview.
Yeah, so we go to Sunday Strathalbyn Vigneron's Cup Day there, and we take 2 last start winning mares, Oh Lovey No and Mrs. Pennycracker. Oh Lovey No looking for back-to-back, as I said, over the 2050 in a Class 1. Maddie Chadwick goes aboard. No early prices for Sunday, so what are we expecting?
Both drawn a little bit sticky. Both drawn barrier 10, but Oh Lovey No on her best ratings. If she can sort of return somewhere near that first up, she will be right in it, but is drawn a little bit sticky. The 2050 she'll appreciate. Thought her trial was only fair, but she didn't have the blinkers on there. She galloped good Tuesday. Look, it's a Class 1 staying race, Strathalbyn. If she's anywhere near right, she should be running top 3. Just got to overcome a tricky gate. So Maddie Chadwick will have to stay out of the spa on Saturday night and out off the party and be ready for Sunday.
I think of the 11 horses in the field, 6 of them are maidens in that race. She looks really well placed off her last start win. She could go really close, but yeah, she has had a little freshen up. So hopefully we can see her return to the winner's stall. That'd be great for Nick and the connections there. Mrs. Pennycracker goes around in the following race. So a little bit of a hit and run mission here, hopefully. Races 4 and 5 at Strathalbyn for Mr. Ned Taylor, I think, on Sunday. Mrs. Pennycracker coming off of a win at Mindery Halladon. Taylor Johnston stays aboard off of that good run and drawn barrier 10, Captain.
We'll make a decision Sunday morning if she runs, so no set decision there. If there's any rain around, her form on soft tracks or worse is deplorable. She'll be staying home if there is the rain that's expected to come over the weekend. Funny, we're middle of November and we're talking about rain and if we run or not. So I Love You Know gets through it okay. Mrs. Pennycracker may well be sitting in her barn if she runs. Does have a tricky gate. She's coming off a nice win, but I lean that she'll be sitting in her barn on Sunday.
Now we move over to the harness action, as we touched on locally on Saturday night. 3 representatives at Globe Derby. Hilltop Star, Bernadette Page aboard. Open the Gates and Lizzie Shelby, both with Wayne Hill early in the card. Races 2 and 4, so that's good because usually they seem to keep us waiting for our runners. So it's nice. Hopefully we can get in and out on Saturday night with a couple of winners, Aaron. Hilltop Star?
They go around together, Open the Gates and Hilltop Star in the Ladyship Stakes. It's been a good race to the stable in recent years. Wayne Hill drives Open the Gates from barrier 1. It looks the early leader on paper. There'll be speed out wide from She Means Business, and Hilltop Star will try and get forward at some stage. But look, 2 nice fillies. Open the Gates was disappointing last start. Wayne Hill back aboard, drawn well. Probably her best chances, in front or behind the leader. So he's just got to get her out as good as he can. But equally, I think Hilltop Star, she trialled exceptionally well Sunday. I do push to her a little over the 2. She's not a bad little horse. I'd ride off her first start where she was at Ender Prep. We travelled to Mildura to try and get the Vic Bred bonus and was just overwhelmed by that whole occasion. So she'll be better for that. Lovely trial Sunday. Hard to split both. It'll be really key to what happens in the first couple hundred metres.
Nothing would bring me more joy than to see Bernadette go sailing past Wayne. That would be awesome. Right? Hopefully she can get a winner for the stable. That'd be great. And then race 4, very popular little harness horse, Lizzie Shelby, goes around number 11 in the race. Off a last start win first up. Second up here on Saturday. Yeah,
look, was really good first up. Love the run. This is a bit tricky. 4 on the second row, barrier 11. She'll have to pay to get back in at some stage, and it is only over the 1,800 metres. So, look, she's going to have to, she's going to have to be really good to win here. She could probably run good and run second or third. So, if she drew anywhere else on the front row, 2, 3, 4, she'd be odds on and she'd be winning. But a barrier 11's hard over the 1,800. So, good luck, Wayne. That's over to you.
Yeah, she's a tough horse and very competitive. So, hopefully she can overcome that tricky draw on Saturday night. Then we move over to Melton. We've got 5 representatives for the Emma Stewart camp. Captain Perfect kicks us off in race 3. Aaron?
Love this horse. Love where he's at. $2.60. Best of the weekend.
Across all?
Across all.
Including thoroughbreds?
Oh, well, yeah, I think best. It's the first time he's drawn anywhere favourably. He looks the leader. This is the semis. I would love to draw on barrier 3 in the 100 grand final next week. The danger will come from the stablemate in Storms Collide, but it's 4 on the second row. We're going to have the advantage on it. Yeah, I love the draw. This horse is just knocking on the door to win.
Okay, I'm absolutely pumped. Hopefully he can overcome his current record at Melton, which is 10 starts for 1 win. Shoreline Dream in race 5. Looks well placed again, Aaron. I'm just having a look as I scroll down.
Cannot
Jesus
win.
Christ, this is a hard race. Where is it?
Cannot win.
What's going on here?
No,
$26.
He was disappointing in his heat. He did a little bit of work, drawn outside the front. He'll need easier opposition to be winning, whether he makes his way through to the final or he's sort of in the silver series of the Vic Bred. There'll be easier assignments for him.
So we've gone from best of the weekend to cannot possibly win.
You want honest answers, I've told you.
I like this. Then we move
on.
We've got Hilltop Blossom in race 7. And I think we've also got Poppy Lane as a representative in the same race. Hilltop Blossom, $21 coming off a last start, 3rd. And Poppy Lane, $13 off a 5th. But a pretty encouraging first up run from Poppy Lane. And she
you know what I would
inside.
do here? You know what I would do?
Just Quinella them.
No, not Quinella them. I'd go Captain Perfect all up Hilltop Blossom the place at $4.20. I think that's a big price, $4.20 the place. She could potentially find her way to the fence. Poppy Lane got speed. She is going to sort of be able to get across, I'd think, Hilltop Blossom and then probably be leaders back. But look, Poppy Lane was great in the heat. Hilltop Blossom as well. Probably should have won the race. Mark Pitt goes aboard here. I wouldn't be letting the $21 and $4.20 go. Equally, Poppy Lane, if she's leaders back or 3 back the fence, she will rattle late. So keep a watch on both these fillies. Would love to see them both through to the final next week. And
rounding us off at Melton, Superstar filly Beach Diamond. Can she make it? 8 wins from 12 starts. Never finished. Only once finished worse than second, the horse.
Yes.
She'll just win?
Yeah, but she'll be short. Is in the same semi-final as Soho Americana, who has had a measure in the Victoria Oaks, but she's drawn the worst inside the second row. Would expect Beach Diamond to be in front, and she'll take plenty of running down.
We're up to that part in the episode where we run through the Queensland runners, I'm a Queen Bee and Sweet Mia. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a share in these two, you can just about guarantee if you roll in at Albion Park on a Saturday night, you'll have both runners going around. They'll be in the market and certainly running well. They go around once again. I reckon I saw earlier that I'm a Queen Bee is double figures and Sweet Mia is the early favourite at $2.80 off a last start second. I would expect that she would be winning on Saturday night, Sweet Mia.
Sweet Mia, Open Mares Company, she's done a good job to get to this level first prep. She hasn't had a break since arriving there. Drawn barrier 6. That's a little bit of a tricky draw for her. There's some speed underneath her. There's horses that have sort of beaten her home before. But, equally as much. She's had a great prep. She continues to raise the bar. She's always thereabouts. $2.80. Happy to see her favourite, but I'm playing around her for the weekend if I am.
Cautiously.
I'm a Queen Bee, just hovering in that band 5 grade, but racing well.
Yeah, and I think a bit of a tricky draw on Saturday night, but that horse does not know how to run a bad race. And then a couple on Sunday, Hungry Hippo, and he's a punk rocker for Emma Stewart. Hungry Hippo coming off a terrific campaign. He goes around in Tassie again, so Launceston on Sunday. Aaron, you're not making the journey down there?
No, thankfully, but that's all right. It was happy to go anytime needed, but I'll be off to Sydney at some stage. But both horses here, Hungry Hippo, he's in a heat of the 3-year-old sires down there, and then we have he's a punk rocker in the heat of the Golden Apple. So both horses well in their respective races. They'll start favourite just with respect to the Emma Stewart stable travelling to Tasmania. Both quirky sort of horses, so I'd sit out and watch at that value.
Very good, Aaron. That wraps us up for our runners, and it just about wraps me up for the rest of the week. We're moving into the weekend, and I've just about had enough of you, so I reckon we look forward to what's to come. Hopefully we've tipped a few people into a couple of winners, and we look forward to our Savabeel colt arriving and Shady Thinker running well next Saturday.
That'll be the plan, mate. We tune in from Sydney next week, or I reckon there's a special guest coming next week. Will O'Malley has requested to be online. So
I know he did. I did cop a message from him actually saying that he was pretty stiff that he didn't get an invite.
He'll be on. He'll be listening to this, and he'll be ready to go for next Friday's podcast.
I think his invite to the podcast went missing with my invite to New Zealand to the Ready Run sales. So I reckon it goes both ways, Willow. So looking forward to that, and it should be a nice weekend of racing, and hopefully the Connections can get a few wins on the board.
Look forward to it. Thanks, team. Talk soon.